Great. Okay. So, folks, with me right now is Erin Evarts, who is the executive director of the Lyric Theater Company in Burlington. Thanks so much, Erin, for talking to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Super. So, could you tell us a little bit about what Lyric is for the uninitiated, and what you do?
Yeah, well, Lyric is a local community theater group, and we have over 400 members, and more than 15,000 people come and see our shows each year. So I'm not sure who's watching this who hasn't seen us yet, but we've been in the community for 46 years now. We're heading into our 47th season that is going to be a little bit truncated because of everything that's going on in the world right now. But we've been around for a long time, and we have wonderful opportunities for people to volunteer and to get on stage in a way that not a lot of people do. So this is a really exciting organization to be a part of.
Yeah, it really is. I've seen quite a number of your productions.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, yeah, I always enjoy them. And so, yeah, you have people from like musicians in the orchestra to people making sets to
Yeah.
acting, production, right?
Everybody at Lyric is a volunteer except for it's two FTEs here in the office, and then we do pay our musicians in the pit because they are professionals and we need their help to make sure that everybody sounds great. But everybody who builds the costumes, designs the sets, puts up the lights, and acts on stage, everybody's a volunteer, which is a really wonderful testament to our community. And people come from all over the state. I mean, I would say primarily Chittenden County are most of our volunteers, but they come from all over.
Terrific. Now, how do you go about choosing which shows you're going to perform? And then most people don't know. I mean, how do you get the rights to perform? What does that involve?
It involves a lot of steps. We work with licensing houses that are all over the country, and we pick shows based on what people want to direct. So we have a producer and a director who, again, are volunteers, and they come to us and they say, I want to do Matilda, which is the current show that we're working on. And they said, we want to do this show. They brought it before our board, and we decided to put the money behind it. And these are big budget shows, and we apply for the rights. We get those, and then we put these shows on the Flynn stage, and we're able to bring them to a really huge audience, which is really exciting.
And how do you get the funds? You must have sponsors in the community, and then maybe your ticket sales pay for part of it.
Absolutely. Right? Our ticket sales make up a huge portion of our budget every year, but we also have really, really wonderful support in local businesses. And so I'm the daughter of a local businessman, and I grew up in this community. Lyric has been a part of my life for more than 20 years now, and to be able to give back. And we have so many businesses, restaurants from downtown Burlington. We have law offices and doctor's offices and optometrists, and they all support Lyric, and they put ads in our program. So if you've seen a Lyric show and you have a program banking around your house somewhere, grab that, take a look. Those are people who are supporting the community day in and day out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what is your background? Tell us a little bit more about.
Well, I am a Chittenden County brat. That's what I say. I grew up in Burlington, and then I was in Shelburne, Heinsberg for a while. Now I live in Colchester, and I went to CVU. Very loved the arts program there, and really got a really great foothold. And then I went away to college and came back to Vermont because this was home. And Lyric has been a huge part of my life since I was a teenager. And so to come back and then to get this role as the executive director has been a real dream come true. And to be able to work with Lyric on this kind of next phase now that we're in our new, beautiful, new creative space, it's been great.
Oh, great. Well, yes, I was going to ask, I know I've seen your shows at the Flynn, but where have you always been at the Flynn, or tell us about your new
We
space?
have always been at the Flynn. Lyric members were part of what kept the Flynn alive. And when the Flynn became the nonprofit that it is today, that kind of grew out of Lyric. More than 45 5 years ago. And we're really proud of that history. And we do our 2 main stage productions at the Flynn every year. But in recent years, we've been working on a capital campaign. And we now have this beautiful creative space that I get to come to every day in South Burlington, where we can rehearse our shows, we can build our sets, we can do our costumes all under one roof, which allows these hundreds of volunteers who work on our shows every year to all be in one place. All the creative juices are flowing. And it really, really is a wonderful testament, again, to this community that supports us and has for so long. And while we still are going to do our shows at the Flynn, as soon as we're able to do that again safely for both our crews and the audience, we do have this wonderful space, and we're looking forward to some alternative programming in the next couple of months.
Oh, that's great. That's really nice. Yeah, I actually used to do a little bit of musical theater in college, and then when
I did feel like I knew that you were a singer at some point. You should really show up for auditions.
Yeah, I don't really act or dance very well, but I could if I could just stand there and sing.
So not exactly a triple threat, but maybe one of those things.
That's right. But I do remember how hard it was to find rehearsal space, and again, I think that's something that people don't necessarily, unless you know how shows work, you don't really, you think, oh, there they are in the theater and they must rehearse in the theater all the time, but that's not at all true.
No, we rehearse for up to 3 months for some of our shows, and we have rehearsed in church basements, middle schools, high schools, gyms, everywhere we could for years. And so to now be able to do it all in one space is really exciting. And one of the great things about the creative space is that we're now also a hub for other artistic groups. And so since we've opened the creative space, we've opened our doors to over a dozen other organizations to come in and rehearse their shows here. There's other organizations, dance teams, theater companies that can come in and use this space because it is such a wonderful resource.
Yeah, that's really, really nice and very valuable. So tell us about COVID and how that has affected your plans for the future and how you adapted.
Yeah, well, I would say that it hasn't been easy. I'll say that. It's been an adventure since day one, which was for us that Friday, March 13th. And on that day, we had to tell our cast for Matilda that we were no longer going to be able to put that show up in the Flynn in April. And I was so overwhelmed by the camaraderie of the people involved in that cast and our community just saying, we're going to do it when we can. And when it's safe for the audience and when it's safe for our teams to be back together. And we're in a holding pattern right now. And in the meantime, we got a call from the city of Burlington, and they asked us if we could help out with making masks. And one of the things that we have is a lot of volunteers, and we had a lot of volunteers who weren't doing anything because the show got postponed. So what did we do? We jumped into action and answered the call, and we made over 20,000 masks with the help of a couple other organizations locally, the Milton Artists Guild and a couple other people and groups, but we had over hundreds and hundreds of volunteers coming in and taking the materials from Lyric to make these masks that went out to essential workers free of charge. And we were a hub for both volunteers and materials for about 3.5 months, and we're still working on it.
Well, that's so great. It's really a wonderful way to contribute to the community.
It's part of our mission is to always share our resources and the things that we have. And that's something we have unbridled amounts of volunteer energy. And we wanted to make sure that we use that for something productive in this time.
Great. Yes. Yeah. Well, terrific. It's wonderful to talk to you. And I look forward to, do you have any hint at the moment of when you might be able to perform Matilda?
No, I haven't found a crystal ball recently, so I don't have an idea of when it's going to happen, but I can tell you that Matilda will be the next show that Lyric puts on the Flynn main stage. We absolutely can't wait to do it, and there's nothing better than coming back with a show about overcoming adversity, and that's exactly what Matilda's about. So I'm very excited for the day that we do get to bring that to you.
Yes, I will look forward to seeing it when you.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So thank you very, very much, Erin, for talking.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, and have a great day.
All right. You too. All righty. So I will just stop us.